What if the underground caves hide natural nuclear deposits? Deep beneath your feet, in the labyrinthine darkness where sunlight has never touched stone, something extraordinary might be quietly humming with energy. We're not talking about some science fiction fantasy here. We're talking about nature's own nuclear reactors. Hidden away in caverns that could make our modern power plants look like toys. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. In fact, nature beat us to the nuclear game by about 2 billion years. In 1972, scientists discovered something remarkable in Gabon, West Africa. The remnants of natural nuclear reactors that had been running long before the first humans walked the Earth. These ancient reactors operated for hundreds of thousands of years, splitting uranium atoms and generating heat in a self-sustaining chain reaction. If it happened once, who's to say it isn't happening right now, somewhere deep underground? Picture this. You're exploring a cave system, headlamp cutting through the inky blackness, when your Geiger counter starts clicking frantically. You've stumbled upon something that defies everything you thought you knew about the underground world. The walls around you aren't just limestone and quartz. They're rich with uranium or concentrated by millions of years of groundwater flow and geological processes into something approaching weapons-grade material. But that's just the beginning. These hypothetical nuclear caves wouldn't be static deposits gathering dust, given the right conditions, and nature is surprisingly good at creating the right conditions. These uranium concentrations could achieve criticality. That means they'd start splitting atoms, generating heat, and potentially creating their own underground power stations that have been running since before recorded history. The physics of such a scenario are actually quite plausible. Uranium-235, the fissile isotope that powers our reactors, was far more abundant in Earth's early history. While today's natural uranium contains only about 0.7% uranium-235, 2 billion years ago, it was closer to 3%, enough to sustain a chain reaction with just ordinary water as a moderator. And caves are perfect environments for this kind of natural nuclear activity. They're isolated, often filled with groundwater and protected from surface interference. Imagine descending into one of these caves and feeling the walls grow warm to the touch. The air shimmers with heat, and somewhere in the darkness, you can hear the subtle bubble and hiss of superheated water turning to steam. You're not just in any cave. You're inside Earth's own reactor core, where uranium atoms have been splitting apart and releasing energy for potentially thousands of years. The implications would be staggering. And these caves wouldn't just be geological curiosities. They'd be naturally occurring power plants, generating electricity that could theoretically be harnessed. The heat alone could warm entire underground ecosystems, creating tropical microclimates deep within the Earth, where life forms might thrive in ways we've never imagined. We might discover entire species that have evolved in the gentle warmth of nuclear decay, creatures that have never seen sunlight but bask in the glow of atomic energy. And then things get even more interesting. If these nuclear caves exist, they're probably not alone. Geological processes tend to create patterns, and if the right conditions existed in one location, they likely existed in others. We could be looking at an entire network of natural nuclear reactors scattered across the globe, hidden beneath our feet like Earth's own distributed power grid. The environmental implications would be mind-boggling. These caves would be creating their own weather systems, generating steam that rises through cracks in the rock to create mysterious hot springs on the surface. Geologists might have been puzzling over these thermal anomalies for years, never realizing they were looking at the exhaust ports of nature's nuclear plants. From a practical standpoint, discovering such caves would revolutionize our understanding of both geology and nuclear physics. We'd have natural laboratories where we could study nuclear reactions that have been running for millennia, completely uncontrolled by human intervention. The cave walls would be repositories of nuclear byproducts and exotic isotopes created through decades or centuries of continuous fission. Some of these isotopes might not even exist in our artificial reactors, created only through the unique conditions found in these underground nuclear furnaces. The safety implications would be equally fascinating and terrifying. Unlike our carefully controlled nuclear reactors, these natural ones would operate according to their own rules. They might pulse with activity during wet seasons when groundwater levels rise, then quiet down during droughts. They could experience their own version of meltdowns. Or they might achieve perfect natural equilibrium, running steadily for thousands of years without human oversight. But here's where the scenario takes an almost surreal turn. If these caves exist, some of them might be accessible. Somewhere in the world, there could be cave systems where you could literally walk through an active nuclear reactor. The radiation levels might be manageable for short visits, especially if the uranium deposits are well shielded by surrounding rock. You could find yourself standing in a cathedral-sized cavern, watching the walls glow with Cherenkov radiation. That ethereal blue light that occurs when high-energy particles travel through transparent materials faster than light travels through the same medium. The discovery of such caves would also raise profound questions about our planet's energy budget. How much heat is Earth generating through these hidden nuclear processes? Could natural nuclear activity help explain some of the geothermal energy we see at the surface? Might these processes be contributing to tectonic activity, providing the energy that drives continental drift and volcanic eruptions? From an archaeological perspective, these caves would be time capsules of nuclear activity. The isotope ratios in the surrounding rock would tell the story of when the reactions started, how intense they've been, and how long they've been running. We might discover that some of these natural reactors are still in their infancy, having achieved criticality only recently in geological terms, while others might be ancient, slowly winding down after millions of years of operation. The biological implications would be equally staggering. Any life forms that had evolved in or around these caves would represent a completely unique branch of evolution, adapted to levels of radiation that would be lethal to most surface life. These organisms might have developed remarkable abilities to repair radiation damage, or they might have evolved to actually use radiation as an energy source, creating entirely new forms of life that exist nowhere else on Earth. And if we're really letting our imaginations run wild, these caves might not just harbor natural nuclear reactions. They might be creating new elements. The intense neutron flux from sustained nuclear reactions could be transmuting common elements into rarer ones, turning these caves into natural alchemical laboratories, where lead might literally be turning into gold, or where entirely new super-heavy elements might be forming and decaying in exotic nuclear processes that we've never observed. The most remarkable aspect of this entire scenario is how it would change our relationship with nuclear energy itself. Instead of seeing atomic power as a human invention fraught with danger and complexity, we'd understand it as a natural process that Earth has been managing successfully for billions of years. These caves would be proof that nuclear reactions are inherently catastrophic. They read just another part of the planet's complex energy system, as natural as geysers or volcanoes. In the end, if underground caves really do hide natural nuclear deposits operating as active reactors, they would represent one of the most extraordinary discoveries in human history. They would be monuments to the incredible creativity of natural processes, underground cathedrals where atoms split in perfect darkness, generating light and heat that no human eye has ever seen. Deep beneath our feet in chambers, carved by water and time, the very elements would be transforming themselves, creating their own light in the eternal darkness, proving once again that reality is far stranger and more wonderful than anything we could imagine. Want to explore more mind-bending scenarios about the hidden wonders beneath our feet? The underground world holds secrets that could revolutionize everything we think we know about our planet.